The people that first raised the alarm and the firefighters that raced to their rescue have opened up about how the Lake Ōhau fire took hold. About 40 houses in the small community were destroyed or badly damaged, with some residents allowed through fire cordons to collect belongings today. The fire comes a month after a blaze at nearby Lake Pukaki, and firefighters say the region's not out of the woods yet, as the fire season gets away. Our cameraman Simon Rogers and reporter Tess Brunton are in Twizel.
Lake Ōhau resident Viv Smith-Campbell was the first to call 111 as her husband Louis drove around the village tooting his horn to wake everyone up.
He asked me to describe how big the fire was. He said, is it a football field? And I said, well, yeah, it is. And then I said, it's actually 2 football fields now. And then I said, no, it's 3 football fields. And I think I got up to 4. And I said, this is really serious.
Firefighters were on their way, but she knew people needed to get out now. Volunteer firefighter Kerry Jackson's tanker crew were the first on the scene. She describes driving towards Lake Ōhau village as a firestorm, with flames reaching up to 15 metres into the sky. She sent the second alert to call for more backup.
As we headed up Lake Ōhau Road, we started to have ash fall on the truck, so we knew that it was definitely growing in size quite quickly. Big chunks of ash means that it's quite like a fast burn coming through.
The fire was flashing across the road as they drove, which looks like explosions. It was difficult seeing the community she knew so well burning.
You did feel a little bit helpless in that sense too, and the fact of for the first hour we were just unable to enter the village. It was too unsafe, and it was quite, you do feel like, what am I doing? What more can we do?
Twizel's Chief Fire Officer, Simon Fox, lives in a rural area near the town. He received a page alerting him to a vegetation fire at Lake Ōhau.
And I quickly looked out my window and seen a massive large glow of red over the hills behind me, and my first thoughts were, I need to get moving. So I headed straight towards this fire brigade here, knowing that my crews would already be on the road.
As he rushed to the scene, car after car passed him, heading in the opposite direction. They were residents fleeing the flames. Mr. Fox says in his 21 years at the brigade, he has never seen embers flying around like they did that morning. He says deciding whether to send firefighters into the village weighed heavily on him. Twizel's Deputy Chief Fire Officer, Ian Gardner, normally goes past Lake Ōhau village on his way skiing, but his trip on Sunday was a lot different. Staying safe was the only thing racing through his mind.
But still, there was some hairy moments getting in there. The fire was right on the side of the road. And lots of smoke, very hard to see. Like I was saying earlier, you could only see one white line ahead of you. In plants, we had to slow down that fast. You could, one at a time, we were following that road.
By the time he arrived, fire engines were already there.
So we didn't actually make it up into the village until later on in the afternoon, actually. So, yeah.
I mean, it's still...
But still, yeah, it was... The trees were on fire. It was just incredible. I think Simon said earlier it was like apocalyptic scenes.
On Sunday, Hamish Smith's property was in the firing line as wind swept the blaze towards Quailburn Road, with 11 helicopters fighting to prevent the spread. He was relieved when the wind changed direction, easing the pressure.
In this community, in the Merrimack community, in the Mackenzie Basin, there's dryland parks all around the farming communities. So there's no reason why it can't start somewhere else if it wanted to.
He wants more collaboration to reduce the risk of similar blazes.
I hope that we can all work together towards a positive outcome regarding the risk of these dryland parks. I mean, there's risk with all high country farming in this environment. It is a brittle environment. But the difference between the graze country and the dryland parks is that the fuel isn't as great.
Fire and Emergency Incident Controller Rob Hand says it's concerning to see another large fire in the region so soon after the Pukaki Downs blaze.
You can blame a number of aspects of that, but climate change, the different weather. But in our fire environment we have fuel topography and weather, and the weather in regard to high temperatures and low relative humidity makes the fuel available. And we only need the smallest spark from whatever heat source to get that moving. And then it's just depending on how much fuel it's got to go and what else is in its way.
But Mr Hand says it hasn't been unmanageable.
The 1st of October was the old trigger for the fire season, but we can have burns going actively in the winter as well. So it is a concern, but we're managing so far.
Up to 12 residents will be allowed to return to the fire-ravaged village and gather their belongings each day. In Twizel for Checkpoint, Tess Brunton, Tēnei.